Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Playbook. I'm David.
And I'm Sarah. We are so excited to have you here with us today for episode 22.
That's right, episode 22. And Sarah, I have to say, today's topic is something I think literally everyone can relate to.
Oh, absolutely. Whether you're working in an office, studying at university, or just navigating daily life, you're going to need to ask for help at some point.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into asking for assistance at work. But honestly, the skills we're covering apply to so many situations beyond just the workplace.
So true. We're going to break down a really practical workplace dialogue, explore tons of useful vocabulary, and then expand into how to ask for help in all kinds of situations.
And we're going to make this super interactive and fun. We've got role plays, real-life scenarios, pronunciation practice.
Cultural insights, common mistakes to avoid.
Basically, by the end of this episode, you're going to feel so much more confident asking for assistance in English.
Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, we've got something valuable for you today. So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's get started.
All right, David, let's jump right into our main dialogue. This is a conversation between an employee named Tony and his boss. And Tony has a problem. He's overworked and needs some help. Let's see how he approaches this sensitive topic with his boss.
I'm going to read the boss's part, and David, you'll be Tony. Ready?
Let's do it.
Like I told you before, we just don't have the resources to hire you an assistant.
I understand that, but the fact is we're understaffed.
The timing is just not right. The economy is bad, and it's too risky to take on new staff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Here's an idea. What if we hire an intern? She would take some of the weight off my shoulders.
She?
Yeah, a recent graduate. She could give me a hand with some of these projects and we could keep our costs down.
That sounds reasonable. Let me see what I can do. Okay, so the first keyword that really stands out is resources. David, what does that mean in this context?
In this dialogue, resources basically means money. The boss is saying, we don't have the money to hire you an assistant.
Right, but resources can mean more than just money, can't it?
Absolutely. Resources can refer to money, time, people, equipment, materials, basically anything you need to accomplish a task or run a business.
Can you give us some example sentences?
Sure. Our company is allocating more resources to the marketing department this year. That could mean money, staff, or both.
Or, we don't have the resources to complete this project by Friday. That might mean you don't have enough people, enough time, or the right equipment.
Exactly. It's a very versatile word in business English.
Now, the next word is really important. Understaffed.
This is when you don't have enough employees to do all the work that needs to be done.
Right. So if a restaurant is understaffed on a busy Saturday night, what happens?
The service is slow, the waiters are stressed, customers have to wait forever for their food.
Exactly. And notice it's understaffed, one word, with under as a prefix meaning not enough.
And we've got some related words here. There's also short-staffed, which means exactly the same thing.
So you could say we're understaffed or we're short-staffed. They're interchangeable.
Exactly. The hospital is short-staffed during the holiday season.
And on the flip side, if you have too many employees, you're overstaffed.
Right, which is a problem too because you're paying people you don't really need.
Let's practice pronunciation. Everyone, repeat after David. Understaffed.
Understaffed. Understaffed.
Great. Now, short-staffed
Short-staffed.
and overstaffed.
Overstaffed. Overstaffed.
Perfect. Now, let's look at a really useful phrase. The timing is just not right.
Oh, I love this phrase because it's so diplomatic.
What do you mean by diplomatic?
Well, it's a polite way of saying no or not now without being too direct. You're not saying the idea is bad, you're saying the timing is wrong.
That's such a good point. It leaves the door open for the future, doesn't it?
Exactly. If someone asks you to invest in their business, you could say, the timing is just not right, instead of, I don't want to invest in your business.
Much softer. Let's hear some examples in different contexts.
I'd love to go on vacation, but the timing is just not right. I have too many projects at work.
We were thinking about buying a house, but the timing is just not right. The market is too expensive.
I want to start a family, but the timing is just not right. I need to focus on my career first.
See how useful this is? It works in so many situations.
And notice it's usually the timing is just not right, with just in there for emphasis.
Although you could also say the timing isn't right. That works too.
True, both are correct.
All right, next up is take some of the weight off my shoulders.
This is a beautiful idiom. Sarah, what does it mean?
It means to reduce someone's burden or workload. If you have a lot of responsibilities and someone helps you, they're taking weight off your shoulders.
Exactly. Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack and someone takes some items out of it. Your load is lighter.
That's the perfect visual. So if I'm feeling overwhelmed at work and you help me with some tasks, you're taking weight off my shoulders.
Right, and this is such a common expression in English, especially in workplace contexts.
Can we practice this? David, can you give me an example sentence?
When my coworker offered to handle the presentation, it really took a weight off my shoulders.
Hiring a babysitter once a week takes some of the weight off my shoulders as a parent.
Notice you can say take a weight or take some weight. Both work.
And you can also say lift a weight off my shoulders. That's another variation.
Good point. Her help really lifted a weight off my shoulders.
Now let's look at another great phrase. Give me a hand.
This is super informal and conversational.
And it means help me, right?
Exactly. Can you give me a hand with these boxes? Means, can you help me carry these boxes?
But this is not literal, folks. You're not actually giving someone your hand.
Right, it's an idiom. Although I guess technically you might use your hands to help.
True, but the point is it's a set phrase that means help.
And it's very casual. You'd say this to friends, family, coworkers you're comfortable with.
So you probably wouldn't say to your CEO, hey, can you give me a hand?
Probably not. You'd want to be more formal with your CEO.
Let's hear some examples.
Can you give me a hand with the dishes?
I need someone to give me a hand moving this furniture.
Let me give you a hand with your luggage.
And notice you can say, give me a hand with something. That's the preposition we use.
Exactly. Give me a hand with the cooking. Give me a hand with this project.
All right, last phrase for this section. Keep our costs down.
This means to avoid spending too much money, to minimize expenses.
Right. Businesses are always trying to keep their costs down, especially during tough economic times.
You can also say cut costs, which is similar but more aggressive.
What's the difference?
Keep costs down is more about maintaining low expenses. Cut costs means you're actively reducing or eliminating expenses.
So keeping costs down is preventative and cutting costs is reactive.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Can you give examples of how companies keep their costs down?
Sure, they might limit business travel, reduce printing, buy cheaper supplies, hire interns instead of full-time employees.
Negotiate better deals with vendors, reduce overtime, use video conferencing instead of in-person meetings.
Exactly. There are so many ways to keep costs down.
And in your personal life, you might keep costs down by cooking at home instead of eating out, using public transportation instead of driving, buying generic brands instead of name brands.
Great examples. This is definitely a phrase everyone should know.
All right, David, before we move on, I think we should talk about the concept of an intern because this might be unfamiliar to some of our listeners.
Great idea. So an intern is someone, usually a student or recent graduate, who works at a company for a short period of time to gain experience.
And here's the interesting part. Sometimes interns are paid, and sometimes they work for free.
Right. In some countries, unpaid internships are common, especially in fields like media, fashion, and nonprofits.
The idea is that even though you're not getting paid or you're getting paid very little, you're gaining valuable experience and making professional connections.
And sometimes, if you do really well as an intern, the company will hire you full-time after your internship ends.
That's actually how I got my first job. I was an intern at a marketing company for 3 months, and then they offered me a full-time position.
That's awesome. See, internships can really open doors.
But we should also mention that internships can vary a lot in quality.
Oh, absolutely. Some internships are amazing. You learn a lot, you get real responsibilities, you work on important projects.
But other internships are basically just making coffee and photocopying documents all day.
The dreaded coffee internship.
Exactly. So if you're considering an internship, it's important to ask questions about what you'll actually be doing.
Good advice. And in the dialogue, Tony specifically mentions hiring an intern to keep costs down, which is a very common business strategy.
Right. Interns are much cheaper than hiring a full-time employee with benefits, salary, and all that.
Now, let's talk about the twists at the end of the dialogue. Tony assumed his intern would be female. He kept saying she, but then Adam shows up.
This is a great reminder about making assumptions based on gender.
Absolutely. Tony was being a bit sexist, assuming that an assistant or intern would automatically be a woman.
And in today's world, that kind of assumption is outdated and inappropriate.
Right. Any job can be done by any gender. Male assistants, female CEOs, non-binary engineers, it's 2026.
Exactly. The workplace has evolved, and our language should reflect that.
So, when talking about someone whose gender you don't know, it's better to use they instead of assuming he or she.
Great point. Instead of the new intern, she will start Monday, you could say the new intern, they will start Monday.
Much better and more inclusive.
All right, now that we've broken down all that vocabulary, let's listen to the dialogue one more time.
And this time, really pay attention to the flow of the conversation and how Tony negotiates with his boss.
Notice how Tony acknowledges his boss's concerns before presenting his solution.
That's such an important negotiation technique. Okay, here we go.
Like I told you before, we just don't have the resources to hire you an assistant.
I understand that, but the fact is we're understaffed.
The timing is just not right. The economy is bad and it's too risky to take on new staff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Here's an idea. What if we hire an intern? She would take some of the weight off my shoulders.
She?
Yeah, you know, a recent graduate. She could give me a hand with some of these projects and we could keep our costs down.
That sounds reasonable. Let me see what I can do. Tony, I'd like to introduce you to your new assistant.
Okay, great. Let's meet her.
Hi, I'm Adam.
Oh, hi. I'm Tony.
Okay, so let's analyze what Tony did really well here.
First, he started by acknowledging his boss's perspective. I understand that, but
This is so important. You're showing that you heard them and respect their position before you present your own viewpoint.
then he states the problem clearly. We're understaffed.
No drama, no complaining, just a simple fact.
And when his boss pushes back again, Tony doesn't argue. He says, yeah, I guess you're right.
But then he immediately offers a solution. Here's an idea. What if we hire an intern?
And he explains exactly how this solution addresses his boss's concerns. It would help with the workload and keep costs down.
That's brilliant negotiation. You're making it easy for your boss to say yes.
And notice the boss's response. That sounds reasonable.
That phrase, that sounds reasonable, is basically business speak for, okay, let's try it.
Exactly. It's not a definite yes, but it's positive.
This is such a useful phrase. If someone makes a suggestion and you think it could work, you can say, that sounds reasonable.
Or that seems reasonable. Same meaning.
All right, so that's the structure of a good negotiation. Acknowledge, state the problem, offer a solution, explain the benefits.
Write that down, everyone. This works in so many situations.
Okay, now let's zoom out from this specific workplace scenario and talk about asking for help in general.
Because, let's be honest, everyone needs help sometimes.
Absolutely. But a lot of people struggle with asking for help. Why do you think that is, David?
I think there are a few reasons. Some people feel like asking for help makes them look weak or incompetent.
Right, especially in competitive environments like school or work.
And some people worry they're bothering others or taking up too much of their time.
Those are both valid concerns, but here's the thing. Most people actually like helping others.
That's so true. It feels good to be helpful.
And asking for help doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. It shows you know your limits and you're willing to learn.
Exactly. So let's talk about how to ask for help effectively.
First principle, be clear and specific about what you need.
Right. Don't just say, I need help and leave people guessing.
For example, instead of, can you help me with this project, say, can you help me figure out how to format this spreadsheet?
Much better. Now the person knows exactly what you need and can decide if they're able to help.
Second principle, be polite.
This should go without saying, but it's so important. Start with "excuse me" or "I'm sorry to bother you."
And always say please and thank you.
These little words make a huge difference in how your request is received.
Third principle, consider timing.
Yes, if someone looks really busy or stressed, maybe wait for a better moment.
Or you could acknowledge it. I know you're busy, but when you have a moment, could you help me with something?
That shows you're aware of and respectful of their time.
Fourth principle, be prepared to help yourself first.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, before asking for help, try to solve the problem yourself. Google it, check the manual, ask a colleague.
Oh, I see. Don't ask for help with something you could easily figure out on your own.
Exactly. And when you do ask for help, you can mention what you've already tried. I've Googled this and checked the manual, but I'm still confused. Could you help me?
That shows you've made an effort, which makes people more willing to help you.
Fifth principle, don't apologize excessively.
Oh, this is a good one. A lot of English learners, especially, say "I'm sorry" way too much.
Right. One excuse me or sorry to bother you is enough. You don't need to apologize 5 times.
It actually makes you seem less confident if you're constantly apologizing.
And finally, sixth principle, express genuine gratitude.
When someone helps you, thank them sincerely. "Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it."
And if possible, offer to help them in return sometime. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know.
That's how you build good relationships.
All right, let's practice these principles with some role plays. David, I'll start. Imagine we're coworkers and I need help with a technical problem.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, David, excuse me. I know you're busy, but I'm having trouble with this software. I've tried restarting it and checking the help menu, but it's still not working. When you have a moment, could you take a look?
Sure, Sarah. Let me finish this email real quick and then I'll come over.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Perfect. Notice how Sarah was clear, polite, considerate of my time, and mentioned what she'd already tried?
And I expressed gratitude at the end.
Great example. Now let me try one. Sarah, imagine you're a stranger on the street and I'm lost.
Okay.
"Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm trying to find the central library, but I think I'm lost. Do you know how to get there?"
Oh, yes, it's about 3 blocks that way. You'll turn left at the second traffic light and it'll be on your right.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really helpful. Have a great day.
See? Clear, polite, and grateful.
These principles work in any situation where you need help.
Now, David, let's talk about the difference between formal and informal ways of asking for help.
This is really important because the level of formality should match the situation and your relationship with the person.
Right. You'd speak differently to your boss than to your best friend.
Exactly. Let's start with informal situations, like asking a friend or family member for help.
In these casual situations, you can be pretty direct. Hey, can you help me move this couch?
Can you give me a hand with dinner?
I need your help with something.
Simple, direct, and perfectly fine among friends.
You might even use slang or very casual language. Dude, I need your help.
Right. Hey man, can you help me out?
Now, what about semi-formal situations, like asking a coworker you're friendly with but not super close to?
In these situations, you'd still be friendly, but a bit more polite. Would you mind helping me with this report?
I was wondering if you could give me a hand with this project.
Notice the change in language? "Would you mind" and "I was wondering if" are more polite than just "can you."
These phrases are slightly more formal without being stiff or overly formal.
Now let's move to formal situations, like asking your boss, a professor, or someone you don't know well.
In these cases, you want to be quite polite and respectful. Would it be possible for you to assist me with this matter?
I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me with this project.
I'm hoping you might be able to provide some guidance on this issue.
Notice how much more elaborate these sentences are?
Right, you're using longer phrases, more formal vocabulary, and often conditional language like would and could.
Let's practice the same request at 3 different formality levels. The request is asking someone to check your work.
Okay, informal first. Hey, can you check this over for me?
Semi-formal. Would you mind taking a look at this when you get a chance?
Formal. I would be grateful if you could review this document when you have an opportunity.
See the progression? Same basic request, very different tone.
And here's a tip. When in doubt, start more formal. You can always become less formal as you get to know someone better.
But going from too informal to more formal can be awkward.
Exactly. It's easier to relax your language than to suddenly become more formal.
Now let's talk about some specific formal phrases that are really useful for asking for help.
Could you please is a good starting point. Could you please send me that file?
Would you be able to is another good one. Would you be able to review this proposal?
I was hoping you could provide some feedback.
Would it be possible for you to is very formal. Would it be possible for you to attend the meeting?
And if you're asking for a favor, you might say, I hate to ask, but, or I know this is a big favor, but.
These phrases acknowledge that you're asking for something extra, which makes the person feel respected.
All right, let's do a role play. David, you're my manager, and I need to ask for time off.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, David. Do you have a moment? I wanted to discuss my schedule. I was hoping I could take next Friday off for a family matter. I know it's busy right now, but I've already arranged for Jennifer to cover my responsibilities that day. Would that be possible?
Let me check the schedule. Yes, that should be fine. Thanks for planning ahead and arranging coverage.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your flexibility.
Perfect. Notice how Sarah was formal, clear about what she needed, acknowledged the timing might not be ideal, and showed she'd already taken steps to minimize the impact?
That's how you make a formal request.
All right, Sarah, let's talk about some common mistakes people make when asking for help in English.
Oh, this is important. Even native speakers make some of these mistakes.
Mistake number 1, being too indirect or vague.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes people are so worried about being polite that they don't actually ask for what they need.
Oh, like saying, I'm having some trouble with this and just leaving it at that?
Exactly. You haven't actually asked for help. The person might just say, oh, that's too bad, and walk away.
So you need to actually make the request. I'm having trouble with this. Could you help me?
Right. Be polite, but be clear about what you're asking for.
Mistake number 2. Using can when could would be more polite.
This is subtle but important. Can you help me is grammatically correct and commonly used.
But could you help me is more polite and formal.
Right. Can asks about ability. Are you able to help me? Could is more polite and asks about willingness. Would you be willing to help me?
In professional or formal settings, could is usually better.
Mistake number 3. Not providing enough context or information.
Ah, yes. Like asking, can you help me with this without explaining what this is?
Exactly. The person has no idea what you need help with, how long it will take, or whether they even have the skills to help.
So always provide context. Can you help me format this Excel spreadsheet? I need to create a pivot table, but I'm not sure how.
Much better. Now the person knows exactly what you need.
Mistake number 4, asking at a bad time.
Yes, if someone is clearly in the middle of something important, rushing somewhere, or looking stressed, that's not the time to ask for help.
Or if you do need to ask right then, acknowledge it. I can see you're busy, but this is somewhat urgent. When might you have a moment to help me?
That shows awareness and respect for their time.
Mistake number 5, not saying thank you.
This is huge. Always, always express gratitude when someone helps you.
Even if it was a small thing, even if it's their job, even if they didn't solve your problem completely.
Thank you for your time, or I appreciate your help goes such a long way.
Mistake number 6, giving up too easily.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if one person can't help you, don't give up. Ask someone else.
Oh, good point. Okay, thank you anyway. Do you know who might be able to help me with this?
Exactly. Most problems have solutions. You just need to find the right person.
And finally, mistake number 7, not learning from the help you receive.
Yes, if someone shows you how to do something, pay attention. Take notes if necessary.
You don't want to keep asking for help with the same thing over and over.
That's annoying and makes it seem like you're not even trying to learn.
So show that you value their time by learning from their help.
Now, David, We should talk about asking for help in emergency situations because the rules are a bit different.
Absolutely. In an emergency, being polite takes a back seat to being clear and urgent.
Right. You don't have time for, "Excuse me, I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but if you have a moment."
No, in an emergency, you need to be direct and loud.
"Help, I need help.
Call 911 or call an ambulance.
Someone is hurt or there's been an accident."
In me situations, it's totally appropriate to be very direct and even to interrupt people.
Your goal is to get help immediately, not to be polite.
That said, even in emergencies, you should be as clear as possible about what's wrong.
Right. Help is good, but help, someone is choking, is better.
Or call 911, there's a fire in the building.
The more specific you are, the quicker people can respond appropriately.
And in an emergency, it's okay to give direct orders. You, call an ambulance. You, get a first aid kit.
In normal situations, that would be rude, but in an emergency, people actually respond better to clear, direct instructions.
It cuts through the panic and confusion.
So remember, emergencies are the exception where being direct and urgent is more important than being polite.
We should also talk about asking for help with technology, Sarah, because this is becoming more and more common.
Oh, yes, and let's be honest, technology can be really frustrating.
So true. Whether it's a website that's not working, software you don't understand, or a device that's broken.
We all need tech help sometimes.
Now, when asking for tech help, it's really important to describe the problem clearly.
Right. It's not working. It doesn't give the person enough information to help you.
Instead, be specific. When I try to log in, I get an error message that says invalid password, but I know my password is correct.
Perfect. Now the tech support person knows exactly what's happening.
Also, mention what you've already tried. I've already cleared my browser cache and tried a different browser, but I'm still having the issue.
This saves time because they won't suggest things you've already done.
And if you're contacting tech support via email or chat, include relevant details like your device type, operating system, browser version.
Basically, give them all the information they might need to diagnose the problem.
Now, here's something important. When dealing with tech support, patience is key.
Yes, the person helping you might need to try several different solutions.
And they might ask you to do things that seem silly or redundant, like restarting your computer.
Just follow their instructions, even if you've already tried it, because they have a troubleshooting process.
Exactly. Getting frustrated or arguing with tech support doesn't help anyone.
And remember to be polite. Tech support workers deal with frustrated people all day. If you're kind and patient, they're much more likely to go the extra mile to help you.
Great point.
David, we should touch on cultural differences in asking for help because this varies significantly around the world.
Absolutely. In some cultures, asking for help is seen as a sign of weakness or incompetence.
While in other cultures, it's completely normal and even expected.
For example, in many Western cultures, especially the US and UK, people are generally comfortable asking for help.
There's even a saying, "Don't be afraid to ask questions."
Right. Teachers, managers, colleagues, they usually expect you to ask for help if you need it.
But in some Asian cultures, there can be more emphasis on not bothering others or on figuring things out independently.
Which can make it harder for people from those cultures to ask for help even when they really need it.
And then there are differences in how direct or indirect requests should be.
Yes, in some cultures, very indirect requests are preferred. I was wondering if possibly, maybe, when you have time, if it's not too much trouble.
While in other cultures, being that indirect would be seen as unclear or even dishonest.
So if you're learning English and plan to use it in a specific country or region, it's worth learning about those cultural norms.
Absolutely. And if you're not sure, you can always observe how native speakers ask for help in that environment.
Good advice. When in doubt, mirror the people around you.
Wow, David, we've covered so much today.
We really have, from workplace negotiations to emergency situations, from formal to informal requests.
From cultural differences to technology help.
Let's do a final review of the key points. First, asking for help is normal and smart, not a sign of weakness.
Second, be clear and specific about what you need.
Third,
be polite and consider the timing of your request.
Fourth, match your formality level to the situation and relationship.
Fifth, always express genuine gratitude when someone helps you.
And sixth, learn from the help you receive so you don't have to keep asking for the same thing.
Let's end with one final role play to tie everything together. Sarah, you're a new employee, and I'm your manager. You need help understanding a company process.
Okay. Good morning, David. Do you have a few minutes? I'm working on the monthly expense report, and I'm not quite sure how to categorize some of these expenses. I've looked at last month's report for reference, but I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Would you be able to walk me through the process?
Sure. Let me pull up the expense report template. So the key categories are...
Actually, before you go on, let me grab a notebook so I can take notes.
Good idea.
Okay, I'm ready. Please go ahead.
Perfect. Notice how Sarah was polite, specific about what she needed, mentioned what she'd already tried, and then made sure to take notes so she could learn.
That's how you ask for help like a pro.
All right, everyone, that's all the time we have for today's episode.
We hope you learned a lot and feel more confident asking for assistance in English.
Remember, practice makes perfect. Try using these phrases in real situations.
And if you found this episode helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the English Playbook, and share this with anyone who's learning English.
We also love hearing from you. Leave a comment telling us what's the hardest thing for you about asking for help in English.
We read every comment and use your feedback to create future episodes.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Thanks for listening to the English Playbook.
Bye, everyone.